Hello, today we are going to talk about monorepos and we will implement that in TypeScript, Turborepo and NX. So, first of all, what is monorepo and why we should use that? So, we always wants to reuse our code in some other projects or library, and for that we are building packages and publish them on some package managers like npm, but sometimes we have to deal with version conflicts and dependency management. So to overcome these issues, monorepo is there. Monorepo is basically a development solution which is useful for the better dependency management, and they are providing effective solutions. Basically, there are many libraries to handle monorepos and its packages. Turborepo and NX are most popular. Sometimes we can do this task using TypeScript also. So we may confuse which library or framework or technology we can use while working with Monorepo. So in this video, we will implement Monorepos using TypeScript, Turborepo, and NX, and we'll see like in which use cases we can use which framework. So let's get started. First, we will build monorepos using TypeScript. I have written blog on it already, but I think visual representation will be more effective. That's why I'm creating this video. So let's start with TypeScript. First of all, we will initialize the project using a basic npm command. So first, let's init the project using npm init -y. Okay, so package.json has been created. Now let's install TypeScript. Also, we will install some dev dependency that will be useful while using TypeScript. Okay, what's next? Yeah, so I will build monorepos for basic utility functions, and I want to just explain like which type of library we can use. So I will use basic utility functions like summation and subtraction, multiplication or division. So let's create a directory for monorepo. Okay, let me manually create this. Okay, then we will initialize that monorepo using this command. So the scope monorepo will initialize our utils directory with monorepo scope, and workspace is this packages utils. So this workspace will basically add workspace field in main packet.json file, so it can refer to our monorepo. Yeah, so here we are seeing that it is adding this workspace package utils, and in this created this monorepo util scope. So now after building monorepo, we can get these utils functionalities using this package npm install @monorepo utils. So let's go further. Yeah, we have seen it has added packet.json file and this workspace. Now it's time to initialize TypeScript. So let's run this command. Okay, so it has created this TypeScript config files in both the directory utils and the main directory. Okay, and yeah, let's add some code in the Monorepo so we can test it whether it's working fine or not. So I'm adding this code in source directory. Yeah, okay. Now to build TypeScript, we need to add some build script in packet.json. So for Monorepo build script is required, so that's why I'm adding this. And in the project where we want to use Monorepo, we can add dev script like this, like tsc build. So basically it will run index file after building TypeScript. So let's create index file also in the main project, and we will try to get that Monorepo things here. So first we have added this multiplication function in Monorepo. Let's build this Monorepo using npm run build. But before that, I want my input directory or a root directory as a source because I added it at a source directory. Okay, and I want my output directory as dist. And as this is package, I need to change the main field of packet.json file like this, dist inside it, index.js. Okay, let's try to build this. Yeah, so it has created dist directory and index.js file with our code. Now let's try to install these in the main package where we want to use this. So first we will need to navigate to the main directory and we will run npm install. Okay, so it has successfully run this. So let's try to access the multiply method. No, still it's referring to this directory, but we want it as a @monorepo utils. We need some changes in TypeScript file here. First we need to add, I think, references. Yeah, we need to add references. First let's add path, and from path it will take reference. Okay, our Monorepo utils will be referred to this packages util directory. Now let's add a reference to that path. Okay, now it's referring to this multiply. Yeah, and let's add 2 and 3. We'll print this result, multiply of 2 and 3 will be result. Okay, so let's try to run the dev command. Yeah, so the two things we missed in our Monorepo, first is base URL in our TypeScript config file and also this composite option. So let's add those options. Here is composite, and our base URL should be a root URL of our Monorepo. So it should be like this. Okay, now let's build this. Again, okay, name is different. I think it's present, maybe that's why we are getting error. Okay, here it is. Let me uncomment this and remove. Okay, yeah. Okay, maybe we need to set base URL here too. Okay, so we get answer multiplication of 2 and 3 is 6. So this is implementation of a Monorepo with basic TypeScript. Whenever we wants to like create any projects or Monorepo for experimental purpose, or it's a small scale application, then we can go with simply TypeScript if we without any dependency or the frameworks like Turborepo and NX, because in simple use cases TypeScript will be more effective than in other cases we need to handle or other packages and its versions. So maybe TypeScript will be more effective for small scale applications. Now in next, let's go with Turborepo. So for that, let me create other package for Turborepo, that is, we'll name it as a Turbo, and we need to initialize, so I will go with TypeScript code only. So we need to initialize TypeScript in the Turborepo. So I will just simply copy paste the code from utils. Okay, let's change functions to summation. Okay, now I will use this turbo library with Turborepo package. Okay, so let's follow the steps written in the blog. So let me introduce Turborepo. Turborepo is like a Monorepo library which providing high performance build solution, and because why it's high performance, it's provide a caching functionality, so it will cache your builds once you run it, and it speed ups the dependency management. So let's start with installing this Turborepo. Okay, and Turborepo will manage all the things using this JSON file, which is config file of Turbo. We need to add some task in this JSON file, so this Turbo will take all the tasks from these and try to run Monorepo packages. In our case it's Turbo. Yeah, and one important thing, we need to add package manager in our package.json file where we install this turbo. So let's check npm version. Okay, okay, now let's add json file of turbo. So basically it has a task for build and dev. So when we run this build command, it will create a dist directory as an output, and it depends on build, means it will check build script on monorepos and will build that monorepos, and will provide us that available that monorepo to the main projects. So let's try to build first this turbo. mm, for that I think I need to change this package name also. Okay, uh, let's run turbo script now, which is npx turbo build. Okay, so it has built utils only because this packet.json has a workspace for utils. If we add it as a star, then it will take all the workspaces, and for turbo, let's add it as a turbo. And yeah, also we need to change some references here in config file of TypeScript. Now let's try to build. Okay, now it has built this turbo, and let's try to access the turbo here. Yeah, so okay, yeah, in this here we need to change it to turbo. Okay, now try to access our sum here. So it is getting from turbo only. Is it okay? Sum of 2 and 3 will print this. Okay, let's try to run that. Okay, so we are getting this issue, cannot find module of, it's maybe turbo. Okay, so I think we need to build it again. Still we are getting issues. Let's clean build then. Okay, the name is turbo. It will get a file from this directory. Okay, let's try to build it again. Okay, still we are getting some issues. Mhm. It's turbo. Okay, let me first copy paste the things so we will not get into typing mistakes. Yeah, we need to install it. I forgot to install the Monorepo, Turbo Monorepo. Yeah, it installed and now it will be available. Okay, now let's try to run it. Okay, it's showing 5, that is output of our sum. Yeah, so we are done with Turborepo also. It's super easy to build. We can add as many tasks as we want in this task of turbo.json, and like you can find more information about adding task on its documentation. When we can use this turbo, so when you have a type of a mid-size project, that like if you want to optimize your build times and like want to improve your dependency management, this turbo repo will definitely helpful in your projects. And it's easy to integrate turbo repo in any type of project, so you can go with turbo repo when you have mid-size projects. Now let's go with NX. Let's build Monorepo with NX. So NX is a most popular framework for building Monorepo. When you have a large scale projects, you can use Monorepo. You can use NX with Monorepo. It apart from the caching and kind of other kind of things like a Turborepo, it provide additional features of a cloud, so you can run your like builds faster on CI/CD because it's caching on the cloud. So whenever you want to run your Monorepo builds on CI/CD, it will be much faster than other packages like Turborepo. So that is the benefit of this annex. And it's also provide visual representation of dependency graph, so you can clearly and easily show see that like a dependency of Monorepo to other projects or other Monorepos. So those are the benefits of annex over other frameworks and technologies. So let's start with annex. To start with annex, we need to install it first and initialize it. Using this command, it will ask some of the questions, and let's we need to answer them and we will good to go. Okay, we want build script instead of test. We don't want to build it on cloud, that's why it's no. Okay, so if we see, then it has created this annex.json file, again similar to turbo.json, and this is the config file of annex. Let's create new folder for annex monorepo. We will name it as a annex repo, and again repeat steps that we did before. Okay, this time let me add a subtract function which will result in a minus b, and Name of my monorepo is annex repo. Okay, and also I will change this repository's name in the projects where I want to use this monorepo. Okay, and we are done with initial setup. Now let's go with next things that we need to add target defaults. It's a similar to task in the Turborepo. So we need to add those tasks in JSON file. Okay, so again this build target will look into the monorepos that we have defined in this workspace and look for build command in that monorepo. For us it is tsc build, and build that package using that build command, and it will be available to us in the projects we want to use. Okay, so now let's try to build that script. In our case it's annex repo. So we will like npx annex, the build command will take that script from this target default and it will build monorepo, that is annex repo. We name it like a annex repo. Yeah, so it has built the things in annex repo with this subtract command. Now let's install this in our main project. Okay, so now I think this annex repo will be available to us. Yeah, if we can clearly see that it's available. Okay, now let's try to run this. Okay, so we got 28, that is 30 minus 2. Yeah, so we have seen the how we can use annex as a monorepo. Yeah, and NX is suitable for large projects with complex dependency management. Consider where you want to build some like a number of monorepos which will be helpful in your other few projects. So I think NX will be best suitable for that type of projects. So in this video we have seen how we can build monorepos using most popular frameworks like Turborepo and NX, and also using TypeScript. And we have seen like in which type of projects we can use which type of frameworks or libraries as a monorepo. So yeah, that's it for today. If you have any suggestions or any feedback, please comment them in the section below. Thank you.